Alright, so this video we are going to determine where a function is increasing and decreasing based on its graph. Okay, so they give us the graph of the function and we have to determine where it's increasing and decreasing. Alright, I've got four examples to work. So let's look at the first one. Now, first, whenever we want to decide that whenever we want to find the interval where a function's increasing, decreasing, or constant, okay, we're going to find where it's constant also. We want to know over what x values is it increasing, decreasing, and constant. Okay, so let's look at this one. So we can see that this graph is going down, okay? It's going down forever. And it's also going up, okay? It's going up forever, okay? It's going down forever and up forever. All right. So, but not only is it going down to negative infinity, it's also, you can see that it's also going to the left. And not only is it going up here forever, it's also going to the right. Okay? So, hopefully you can see that this function, and when we determine where it's increasing and decreasing, we look at the graph as it's going from left to right. Okay, so if we look at it left to right, you can see that this graph is increasing. Okay, you don't read it back this way to say it's decreasing. Okay, you go from left to right, from negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay, and we can see that it's increasing. Well, where does it start? Okay, well, it starts way back here at negative infinity. Okay, because see, it's going to the left forever. So it's increasing. We can say it's increasing. Well, it starts at negative infinity. And look, as we travel along the x-axis, you can see that it's still increasing. See, as we travel along the x-axis, look, it's still increasing. It's still increasing, even though you can't see it, from here. You can't see the graph where the y value would be, but it is increasing. And as we go, we can keep going and going and going all the way to infinity, and the graph is still increasing. So it's increasing from negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay. Now, what intervals is it decreasing over? Well, if we look at the graph, it's not decreasing anywhere. All it's doing is increasing. So the intervals where it's decreasing, there's none. And then constant, well, to determine where it's constant, that's where the graph would just be flat. Okay, it wouldn't be increasing and it wouldn't be decreasing. So it's constant. The intervals where it's constant would be none also. Alright, so let's look at some more. Alright, so let's look at this one. Here's a good one. Alright, so let's just kind of highlight this thing a little bit. So let's see where this thing is increasing. Okay, so remember, we go from left to right. Now this thing, it's going down forever, but not only is it going down forever, it's also going to the right. It's doing it real slow, but it is. Okay, but we can see that this graph is increasing until it gets to right here. Okay, and then when it gets here, it starts decreasing. So let's put that in another color. So here it's decreasing until it gets to this point. And then once it gets to this point, well, it starts increasing again. Okay, all right, so let's look at this. Well, it's increasing. Okay, so it's increasing here. Okay, so where does it start increasing? Well, it starts increasing down here at negative infinity. See, if we're out here at negative infinity on the x-axis, we're way down here at negative infinity on the y-axis. But that's how the graph's coming up. It's coming up like this. It's increasing, 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 and then it stops. Well, where does it start increasing? It starts increasing out here at negative infinity. And look, it increases until it gets to right here, and that's where it stops increasing. Well, where does it stop increasing? At the x value of 0. You see that? We want to know over what range of x values is it increasing, not the y values. So if you think it's negative infinity to 2, that would be wrong because that's the y values. It starts increasing over these x values, negative infinity to 0, and that's where it stops increasing. Okay, but then look at this. It picks up again right here and starts increasing. Well, where does it start increasing? It starts increasing here. Look at this x value of 2. And it's increasing, increasing, and look, as we travel along the x-axis, this graph is still increasing. It's just way up where you can't see it, okay? But as we move along the x-axis, this graph is still increasing. So it's increasing from 2 to infinity. And now let's look at decreasing. All right, so we can see that it's decreasing here. You see that over this little section. Well, where does it start decreasing? It starts decreasing right here, and that is at an x value of 0. And it's decreasing, 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 and it stops decreasing here. Well, it stops decreasing at an x value of 2. All right, and then constant. Well, where's the graph flat? Well, it's not flat anywhere. So the intervals where it's constant would be none. All right, so let's look at example 3. All right. All right, so let's highlight this one like we did the last one. All right, so let's just find where it's increasing first. Okay, well, we know it's not increasing here because this is decreasing. This is not increasing. This would actually be constant because see, it's flat there. But oh, look at here. It starts increasing right here. Okay, so the graph is increasing here. Okay, now let's highlight where it's decreasing. Well, it's decreasing here. So if we highlight that, it's decreasing there. And then constant, well, let's get a different color for that, and we can see that it's constant right here. Okay, all right, so now let's come up here and say, okay, this thing is increasing. All right, well, where does it start increasing? It starts increasing right here at x equal 1. See, I put the 2 here. From here to here to here, that's 2 units. So each little mark here is 1 unit. So it starts increasing here at x equal 1. And where does it stop increasing? Well, it's increasing forever. So as we go along this x-axis, it's still increasing. So it's increasing all the way to an x value of infinity. All right, so what about decreasing? Okay, well, where is it decreasing? It's decreasing right here. Well, where does it start decreasing? Well, this graph continues up forever, but not only up, but to the left forever. So it starts decreasing out here at negative infinity. And look, as we come along the x-axis, it's decreasing, still decreasing, decreasing, and then right here, it stops decreasing at this x value right here. And this is an x value of -1. Okay. And now let's look and see where it's constant. Well, it's constant here. Okay. So we want to know over what x values is it constant. Well, it starts to be constant here at this x value of -1. And I know this -2 might look like it's right here, but the -2 is actually, it's here. Okay. All right, it should be moved over just a little bit. This is actually x value of -1 here. Okay, so it starts at -1 and it's constant, still constant, and then it stops being constant here at this x value of 1. And so there's your answer to that one. All right, so let's look at the last one. Hopefully you're catching on. It's really not difficult. All right, so let's just kind of mark the graph like we did on the other ones. Okay, let's mark where it's increasing. Well, we can see it's increasing here. Okay, and look, it's increasing here. And then where is it decreasing? Well, it's not decreasing anywhere, is it? Okay, well, is it constant anywhere? Yes, it's constant right here. Okay, all right, so let's look at this. So now let's state where it is increasing. All right, well, it's increasing here. Well, where does it start increasing? Well, this graph continues on down forever. Not only is it going down, but it's also going to the left. So it's starting out here at an x value of -1, and this graph's increasing, increasing. It's still increasing as I'm going along the x-axis, increasing, and then right here it stops increasing. It stops increasing at this x value here. Well, this is an x value of 0. I'm sorry. It stops increasing there. So first, let's state where it starts increasing. Well, it starts increasing out here at this x value of -infinity, and then it stops increasing, just like we said earlier. It stops increasing here at x equal 0. Okay. Now, look, it picks up again here and starts increasing. Okay. So it starts increasing here at an x value of 2. And where does it stop increasing? Well, as we go along the x-axis, this graph is still increasing. I mean, we just can't see it because we just can't draw it that far. Okay. We can't draw it out to infinity. But as we go along the x-axis, this graph is still going up. So it's increasing from 2 to positive infinity. And now let's look at decreasing. So where's this thing decreasing? Well, it's not decreasing anywhere. So the intervals that it's decreasing are none. And then the last one, the constant. Where's this thing constant? Well, that's where it's flat. Well, it's flat here. Well, where does it start? Well, it starts right here at an x value of 0. And it's still constant, constant, and it stops here. It stops being constant here at an x value of 2. Okay, so that's how to determine if a graph is increasing, decreasing, or constant if you're, when you're given the graph of the function. So I hope this helped. I know the video, it went kind of long. We're almost up to 15 minutes. But give me a subscribe, like, share the video, and thanks for watching.